finally to speak is our leader, Mr. Alek Yerbury.
Britain has always been an industrious country. We've always been a people based around hard work and genuine labour. It was this country and the people in it that spawned the Industrial Revolution that shaped our modern world. There was a time only 150 years ago where 3/4 of the textiles on earth were made in Lancashire. Now, there was a time when the pottery ovens of Stoke and the steel works of Sheffield and the docks of England and Scotland and Clydebank were the envy of the world. What made this country great was its industrious people. And that industrious nature was made possible by the industrious economy that supported them. Today, whenever you talk about the economy, all you hear from people is this relentless cost of living crisis. It's a phrase that's existed for about a decade now. Every single year, it's when will the cost of living crisis end? When will the economy upturn? When will wages, when will house prices, when will these things be dealt with? All you hear is the cost of living crisis. Now, on the left, they blame Brexit, and they have done for the last 10 years. On the left, the virtually unanimous voice is that if we never left the European Union, we wouldn't have these economic problems. And then on the political right, they blame the left. They blame the left despite the fact that the Conservative right was in government for the last 15 years, and it was only recently that the left took over. The reality is that both those sides blame each other, and the name of the game is blame for one specific reason. Because if they accept that actually the underlying problems with our economy are problems with the economic system as a whole and all of those parts within it, if they were to accept that instead of looking for a scapegoat and looking for a person to blame, it would mean having to change that system and having to fix that problem. They are stuck in the same syndrome that the Soviets were stuck in the 1980s, where it was easier to always blame every problem with society on a subversive, on a traitor, on a political enemy. It was always easier to blame one person than to accept that 50, 75, even 100 years of problems had come to a head and that the entire system needed to be changed. The nature of the system now is one which is designed to use the economy for one purpose only, which is to funnel as much wealth and as many resources as it can from the hands of our people into the pockets of a very small number of individuals. It's not a system of industry and economic productivity. It's a system of pillage and plunder. The architects of this system are international finance. And what is international finance? International finance is this rootless clique of people. They come from different backgrounds, they live in different places, but they are very much international people. They see themselves as citizens of nowhere, having duties to no one, having responsibilities to no country, no people, no community. Instead, their God is money, and their minions are us. That is their mentality and their view of the world. International finance has bled this country dry, and it's done this by seizing control of both the traditional left and the traditional right, and melding all of their ideas into this singular neoliberal international capitalism. Now, some people will say, but surely the likes of Nigel Farage and the likes of Reform are not in the pocket of these people. But how many people know that only last year Nigel Farage went to a conference in Indonesia where he talked to the rest of his internationalist minions about how to avoid tax, how to offshore their money, how to close down national industries and move their business to India and China. How many people know this? And this is when you start to understand this, you start to understand that the root cause of all these problems, whether they originate from the Labourites of the left or the Tories of the right, you start to understand that it is the same cause and the same individuals who are responsible, and it is always for personal gain of those people. Why have they done this? It's not just about money. It's also about power. It's about ensuring that our people will never be in a position to challenge this system that favours them not, and which only favours this self-appointed clique of elite masters. So they've inflicted on us this system which they call free market international capitalism. And the results of this system are the horrors that have been inflicted on our people today. Make no mistake, things like mass immigration, the offshoring of our industries, the destruction of our working communities, the destruction of the mines and the factories, all of these things, and the rampant unemployment and destitution that went with them, all of these things were very deliberately done to destroy any power that the masses in this country had, and to take away any mechanism that they could have to challenge this system. By taking away our people's right to be productive of their own volition, by taking away their ability to work, they have taken away our people's ability to have agency of their own. And that is where the international economy has become this true weapon of evil. That is where the globalist, internationalist, capitalist has morphed into this same figure as this globalist international communist. They've morphed into this same entity, this same mass of wandering people that simply see countries and people as entities to have the blood sucked out of them and then be thrown onto the scrap heap of life and left to die. This is why one of the fundamental principles of our party has to be not just the reorganization of society and our politics, but the reorganization of our economy away from this internationalist model and into a genuine national economy that is fit for a national community. Central to this idea is both the right and duty of work. The right of a person to be given something productive to do with their life, the right of a person to have the means to become productive and self-reliant on their own back, and simultaneously the responsibility of all of our people as individuals to work hard not just for themselves but also for the community and the society and the people around them. The right and duty of work must be cemented in our vision for a national community of the future. If we can shift to a national economic model, we can shift to a model that is based around the idea of keeping British wealth in Britain, controlling both debt and inflation, exterminating the influence of international finance and the twisted claws of the international money men that have sought to lay our people low and continue to seek the annihilation and extermination of our countrymen, or better still, their enslavement, but kept in a state of such absolute degradation that they can never resist and never retaliate. Do not be under any illusion that this is the ultimate goal of our enemy. But we know the goal of our enemy. When you know your enemy's goal, only then can you overcome them. As much as they might seem like this impossible force that you can never dominate, that you can never overcome, our enemy relies in great strength on our people not knowing how to save themselves. They rely on our people not knowing how to engage in politics, not knowing which enemy to fight. They rely on our people getting distracted by Islam, or getting distracted by specific trivial grievances. They rely on our people getting sucked into sectarian conflict, because it takes our people away from this recognition of who the ultimate enemy is. And it makes it harder for us to organise against the Westminster criminals in the House of Common Thieves. What our national economy must change into is an economy that is not centrally controlled as the communists would have, but one that is genuinely centrally and nationally directed. An economy in which the national government, with the legitimate support of our people, determines what the ultimate goals for our national economy are, and private enterprise exists to realise those goals in a way that is beneficial to both those people as individuals and to society as a whole. Because ultimately there are three kinds of work that people can do. Work that benefits others but not yourself is charity. Work that benefits yourself and society is genuine, honest work. And work that benefits yourself at the expense of everybody else, this is the work of the international money men. That is crime. It's the same as a thief, it's the same as a rapist, it's the same as a murderer. It is crime. The crimes that these people have committed against our economic life are crimes they have committed against our entire people as a whole. And for a crime that serious, the only effective punishment is for the people responsible to be blasted from the face of the earth. Once we've freed ourselves from this trap, and once we have reconstituted our national community with a genuine national economy, we will live in a country in which the hand of international finance can no longer dip in which the pockets of the corrupt and the greedy are closed. We will live in a community where hard work is rewarded, where idleness and theft is punished. We will live in a national community where everyone in that community is the kind of person that you would genuinely want to be your neighbour. The kind of person that you will make sacrifices for because you know that they will also make sacrifices for you. The image of Britannia of tomorrow, it's not just an image of Britannia with a sword. It's an image of Britannia with a shovel in one hand and a rifle in the other hand. An image of Britannia that is prepared to work hard and relentlessly for our people, but at the same time will defend those people to the death and will put in the grave anybody that seeks to put them in the grave. The party has to become a conduit of this effort, free from the constraints of the left and the right, free from Labour and the Conservatives, free from the sectarian influence of a particular religion, a particular creed. It has to become a genuine party of our people that understands religion, that understands race, that understands history, but does not fall into the trap of becoming this twisted sectarian influence. We have everything within our party that we can do to create this. We have the foundation of a national agenda, which is much more than what any nationalist party has put together in the last 10 or 20 years. We're not a party that relies upon celebrities or personalities. We are a party where the great strength of our party is in the vision that we have and in the ideas that we want to realise. And so we are a party not bound by the life and death of one person, but a party that is bound by imagination, and imagination is bound by nothing. Once we have completed our goals, though it might take months, it might take years, but these goals will be completed nonetheless. What we will live in is a reinvigorated country that draws from the strength of 1,000 years past to create a nation fit to live in for 1,000 years hence. The failed system of today will perish. It will be put in the grave where it belongs, and the people responsible for maintaining that system, they will be presented with a very simple choice. They either come back and rejoin our community, or they will be removed from it, never to be part of it again. The future of tomorrow is not one that will be in the image of theft and crime and rape and pillage. The Britain of tomorrow will be one that is cultivated in our image.